let's talk about today. Today I talked to a stranger for like 3 hours, 2 hours at a Coles car park, and probably no, maybe even 2.5 hours at a Coles car park, and probably half an hour in front of his house. I'll get to that story though. However, today I was expecting my carer to come over at 10, but they must be all finished because my time here is nearly up. So their roster must be forever done. Which is interesting. It must have come to the time where I've got no more carers, which is fine. It doesn't really bother me. Anyway, so yeah, I was waiting around and I thought, alright, fuck it. I'll go to the motorbike shop across the road and pay my bill, which was like $630 or so whatever. And he didn't even finish the bike. He still got to do the bearings on the back wheel. And he didn't contact me at all today, which is weird. He said it was a one-day job. Well, he said he would have it done today, but he hasn't. Anyway, getting off topic. So I went to the place, talked to the mechanic about my bike, and I was like, hey, as a mechanic, I'm sure you don't really approve of this bike. I'm sure there's probably a little bit of a dodgy job because compared to a factory bike. But what are your main concerns about this bike? And he said his main concern would be the exhaust pipe, and I feel like he has a point because it doesn't have a triangle bracket mounting it to the frame. However, it is still pretty solid. However, I see his point. Also, he said the other thing he's iffy on is the throttle cables being excessively long, and they sort of sometimes wrap around my Speedo. Which isn't ideal, but I can fix that. It's easy. I just get shorter throttle cables. It's not a problem. Very universal since I got that Motion Pro throttle kit. Great. Anyways, we talked for quite a bit, and then we talked about things that needed to be done. Like, I got shitty about that nut scenario when I was at home, not with him. And he said, look, so you put a Imperial nut on a metric thread, doesn't even know how it was on there, and it was really loose, and it shouldn't, we talked about that fuck up. Also, we talked about the sprockets weren't Honda sprockets, so you had to look them up and find where they were from. He gave me also the sprocket number in case I needed it for the future, which was nice. What else is on the invoice? We talked about bearings, bushings, and grease, things like that. We talked about general maintenance. The front tire had great pressure in it, 32 psi, which is good. The back, however, only had 16, which is terrible. And then he gave me a lecture about the chain being too tight, but I still stand by the point that the chain was only on tight because I only pushed it across the road. I wasn't going to ride it. I just slapped the chain on there. I knew it was tight, but he wasn't really wanting to listen to that. However, $630 later, good. He hasn't ridden it though, so he doesn't even know the problem's fixed. But to be fair, since he fixed the issue of the wrong thread and all this sort of shit on the actual going through the swing arm that was making it all pretty sloppy, I'm pretty sure the issue's fixed. Anyway, let's finish talking about that because I want to talk about today's Coles story. So other than that, I played a little bit of Need for Speed on the TV. They released a new update and I just went for a walk. No, I went to Centrelink because I'm getting sick of Centrelink making appointments and not holding up their end of the deal. And then they don't ring me. And then they threaten to cut my pension off because I didn't pick up the phone. Anyway, I went to Centrelink and talked to them and they were confused and I made another appointment which they will probably not keep their hold of the bargain of. Anyway, that was sorted, I guess you can say, until the future. That was good though. I enjoyed Centrelink. Anyway, so then I went for a walk and I was walking back home and I was walking through the Coles car park and I saw this nice looking CBR 650 learner bike. I was looking at it, and some bloke comes out, it's like, this your bike? So no, just looking at it, it looks interesting. It's a nice looking bike, you know. And I wouldn't know, but I got myself stuck into this like 2.5, maybe 2 hour talk, and I enjoyed every moment of it. It wasn't a problem. But this guy was like 68, 58, 68, 58. But we fucking talked and talked. I haven't done that for so long. It felt so good though. We talked about his previous bikes when he was young, and I talked about some of my history with bikes, and as much as I can remember. And we talked about he wandered off topic and talked about this time he went fucking pool shooting at pubs, you know, and like there were a couple sharks there, and he's like, you know, $20, and then they would sort of lose, like, you know, double or nothing, you know. Anyway, oh, it was fucking brilliant, great chat. So we chatted for about 2 hours, I reckon, just standing outside of fucking Coles. Yeah, it was great. And then I mentioned, let's just say, you know, I've got to go to Alpha Street, which is right next to. Oh, let's just say I'm like, I'm gonna go to Alpha Street. That's where my house is. And he's like, Alpha Street. He's like, yeah. He's like, fuck, man. He's like, just literally across the road from where I live. I was like, no shit. He's like, yeah, I live on Bet Street, Alphabet. And I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh shit. He's like, hey, what about I just give you a ride? And he's like, fuck yeah, all right. So he's literally just like more or less over the road, because this is a road, and then it's a big giant block of grassland, and then there's another road over there, and you can walk straight through this land. You know, it's just, yeah, you can see, it's just a paddock, and their houses all over there. They're all houses. You can just, yeah. Anyway, he's like, yeah, no shit. He's like, well, if you live on Alpha Street, he's like, I'll just fucking drive home. He's like, I can either drive you to Alpha Street, or I can just drive you to Bet Street where I live, and you can just walk across the road. I said, fucking hell, yeah. So, and for like another fucking 20 minutes, more about his car, because he drives an LDV. But yeah, it was fucking great. You know, we talked there and talked there. I thought, fuck, man, I've been talking to you for hours. I said, I better go. But he was a good bloody bloke. I enjoyed it. We talked probably 2-3 hours, just about shit. But it was bloody great. It really. So now I'm at home doing this video, so I don't feel tired, and I don't have to do that at night time. I think I need to brush my teeth a bit better. But I also caught up with that Mr. Minute guy that I know. I had a coffee with him. I mean, fuck it, while I'm walking past his shoe shop, why don't I go and say hello to him? And so I said, you know, what are you doing for lunch? You want to get a coffee? He's like, yeah, all right. So I had a coffee with him, and then I met the guy at Coles. But fucking, that guy made my day. That guy over on the other side of the road, he made my day. He was fucking great. It was just good. We just talked. You know, it's like back in the old days where people would just talk, and, you know, they would go to the pub and hang out and talk and make, you know, friendships. Sort of like that. I fucking loved it. You know, it's fucking brilliant. You know, it's such a shame he wasn't a 30-year-old hot Sheila. You know, then I would love to talk to, you know, but you know, he's a great bloke. You know, he was a good bloke. I really enjoyed today. So I talked to a stranger for like 3 hours today, and it was the highlight of my day. Bloody brilliant. He's a good bloke. We had great chats about motorbikes, pubs, trucks, LDVs, all kinds of shit. So yeah, I also woke up again around 7-8 o'clock. I feel like my sleeping, what's that thing called? Sleeping body clock. I feel like my body clock's readjusting. So yeah, yeah, I should do more videos out here. It's lovely out here. Oh, I just looked at the back of my phone. I went to the bank and I met a guy named Robert, and he's like, oh, I need some woodwork done. So I said, well, the person who owns this house does woodwork, so I can possibly hook you up. But bloody great bloody day, really good day, great day. So yeah, it was a you know what? I'll mark this as an unforgettable, forgettable day. No, forgettable, unforgettable day. Yeah, because I forget stuff. Forgettable. It's an unforgettable day, but I will forget. It was a bloody great day. Now I'm gonna go and chat to my R1 friend. But yeah, well, that's it. I'm gonna go inside. Bye.